WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. Protests continue all over the country in support of the Black Lives Matter movement and racial equality. And in Winston County today, people joined that movement. Our Savannah Gato was there and has more on the story.
To see this means the world to me. It's like the first real sign of people coming together.
Residents of Louisville and Winston County gathered to stand up against systematic racism and to fight for equality. Organizer Lawrence Sangster says that events like this show how strong their community truly is.
No matter what creed or race that we are, that's the reason why we should be able to do any of this together. Just say if we get a situation where all of the county have to come together. If we have to protect our county, we want to be able to people to understand that Winston County can come together to be able to protect their county, protect their people, be able to protect the society and people here citywide.
It's a miracle to me that every state protested, overseas protested. We're here together in Louisville, Mississippi. It's a great step for mankind.
Protesters say now it is time for
action. Action. No more talk, but action. All the things that people have said that need to be done, they need to be done. No more talk.
For too long, we have analyzed. For too long, we have strategized. For too long, we have talked. For too long, we have marched. For too long, we have protested. It's time to take action.
Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, but at the end of the day, right now, Black Lives Matter, and we need your help.
Reporting in Louisville, Savannah Gato, WCBI News.
Everyone at the rally was required to wear a mask and to practice social distancing. Well, a Black Lives Matter rally held in Columbus was interrupted today by a man with a gun. Now, this video was captured by a WCBI viewer and shows the moment that protesters confront the man. Now, Public Information Officer Joe Dillon says Teddy Billingsley of Columbus is the man seen holding the gun in the video. He's charged with brandishing a weapon, disturbing the peace, public intoxication, which all are misdemeanors. Now, Billingsley remains in jail at this time. On this weekend, celebrating Juneteenth, another Mississippi community marches for justice. WCBI's Tyler Hull was there.
I want you to know this today. The past
From cities to smaller communities, the message remains the same. People who live in Aberdeen are part of the national movement. Mayor Maurice Howard says he is here to stand with the people and ask for the same thing that everyone else wants.
This is a stand for, social injustices all across America. And of course, me as the mayor, I support. As a black man, I have no other choice but to support. And so we're standing up for all of those lives that's been lost all across America. And all we're asking for is equality.
The group marched from the Parks and Recreation Building to the City Hall. That's where speakers and singers called for equality, justice, and unity. Event organizer Michelle Stewart says putting the event together was difficult at times, but in the end, it was all worth it.
I can say it was challenging. Some things were taken out of context, and it tried to be a stumbling block for the main reason why we're here is for unity and peace. But we overcame that. People still came out of all different races, and that's what I was most proud about. It's hard work trying to be an organizer and do behind the scenes to get something together. But when people show up and you have a great turnout like this and you have your supporters and city officials out, it just makes everything better.
Aberdeen is one of dozens of cities and communities across Mississippi where local residents have protested peacefully in recent weeks. Tyler Hall, WCBI News.
Dozens of people attended the march this morning. Well, President Trump's first rally since the coronavirus pandemic hit the U.S. is sparking controversy even before it begins. This evening in Tulsa, Oklahoma, CBS News correspondent Omar Villafranca reports from Tulsa.
The president's first rally since March comes as coronavirus cases are spiking in Oklahoma and many states across the U.S.
No intentions on wearing masks. We're healthy individuals. We hope everyone here is only coming here if they assume the risk of being out here today. I have hand sanitizer on me. We have masks for whenever we get,
President Trump's
6
campaign
feet away.
announced Saturday that 6 staff members helping set up for the rally have tested positive for the virus. Masks are not required at the indoor or outdoor rally venues, but temperature checks are being conducted and hand sanitizer provided. The president spoke on the South Lawn as he departed the White House for Tulsa.
The event in Oklahoma is unbelievable. The crowds are unbelievable. They haven't seen anything like it.
The rally for momentum from core supporters.
He loves to unite people.
I hope it's a message of unity today.
Days of unrest and protests following the death of George Floyd, 2 major Supreme Court defeats, and the release next week of former National Security Advisor John Bolton's White House tell-all memoir. A federal judge Saturday denied the administration's request to block the book. The Trump campaign pushed the Tulsa rally to Saturday night after an outcry when it was first set for Juneteenth, the annual celebration marking the end of slavery. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Well, the choice of Tulsa itself was controversial. Nearly a century after a white mob massacred hundreds of African-American residents, including burning a thriving neighborhood to the ground.
Well, let me be the first to wish you a very happy first day of summer. Summer officially beginning about an hour and a half ago, and it definitely feels like it out there. Take a look at these highs today, anywhere from the low 90s into the mid 90s in some spots. Our average is right at 90, so we're not too far off, but it is definitely feeling like summer out there. Let me show you what we're looking at on a bigger picture. Really not a whole lot going on in the Twin States. We are watching this little disturbance here coming through Arkansas. That could bring some of us some very isolated showers through the morning hours tomorrow, and all of this cloud cover is going to increase overnight tonight. So we'll stay variably cloudy overnight tonight, lows in the 70s with an isolated shower possible. And over the next 3 days, rain chances really do increase. Maybe some showers and storms by tomorrow afternoon for Father's Day. I've got all the details in my full First Alert forecast in just a bit. Cash.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, a local church goes back to online services after members of its staff test positive for coronavirus. Leaders at Fairview Church in Columbus sent out a letter to members of the congregation on Friday. In the letter, they state that a volunteer from their June 14th service tested positive for COVID-19. They also said later that same week they learned of additional exposures to their staff. As a result, the church will be moving back to an online streaming format until further notice. Their offices will close Monday and Tuesday of this week to allow other members of the faculty to be tested. In a policy that only impacts Mississippi, the NCAA will prohibit the state's sports teams from hosting regional games and championships or host sites for women's basketball. Now, the Collegiate Sports governing body announced the decision Friday morning. It says the state flag is the reason behind the decision. NCAA says it expanded its Confederate flag policy, keeping championship events from being played where the symbol has a prominent presence. This will impact baseball, softball, lacrosse, and women's basketball. In a statement, NCAA leaders wrote, "There's no place in college athletics or the world for symbols or acts of discrimination and oppression." Well, Friday's announcement from the NCAA, right on the heels of a similar statement from the SEC, has made the flag a topic of conversation and the one place where something can be done about it. But as Courtney Ann Jackson reports, so far, it's only talk.
The state flag was a hot-button issue in these hallways before the sports world started weighing in. But I asked, do you think those voices will carry weight in decision-making? Some say they hope they will.
A lot of efforts to change the flag over a lot of years, but I've never seen the momentum quite like this ever in the history of the state.
Obviously, it's affecting the industry, it's affecting our colleges and universities is going to experience. It's really unfair to our student athletes to go on to excel in their respective sports and not be able to compete in their home state.
There are others who say they won't be swayed.
But I have a problem with outside groups coming in and trying to exert economic pressure or what I would consider a shakedown.
Had a referendum in 2001. The people retained the issue for themselves. For us now to change it without their approval tells them their hard work, their opinions don't matter.
Speaker of the House Philip Gunn is standing by his position that the flag needs to be changed.
This is an issue for us. This is a reflection upon who we are as a people. It's a reflection upon the image that we bear across the country.
Of course, to get something passed in this building, the votes have to be there. Gunn says they're having the conversations about whether they've got the support.
So I'm beginning to hear people say, well, this is beginning to hurt us now. We need to consider going a different way.
It would take a 2/3 vote by both chambers to take up legislation to change the flag this session, since the deadlines have passed.
That's 81 in my chamber. So that's putting together a big coalition of people. So it takes a while to come to an agreement on something like that.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
There's a Senate resolution that's been filed, but it has to come out of the Constitution Committee before that 2-3 vote can be attempted. That hasn't happened yet.
Blue skies across the area right now and up to the north in Tupelo, but we are tracking some rain chances. I'll tell you exactly when you'll need to have the umbrella handy. That's in my first alert forecast right on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert Accuweather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Birch.
Well, it is a hot, steamy, and sultry Saturday evening, just in time for the first day of summer. Summer officially beginning about an hour and a half ago at 4:44 p.m. But you might wonder, what is the deal with the seasons? Why do they happen? And what makes today the first day of summer, seeing that we've been hot for the last couple of weeks? Well, it all comes down to what's going on out in space. So let's do a little astronomy lesson to start off your forecast. So the Earth is actually tilted at a 23.5-degree angle. So when it spins around the sun, sometimes we're tilted further away from the sun, sometimes we are tilted a little closer to the sun. So in the winter months, in December, we are tilted as far away from the sun as we are all year. But right now, today actually, about an hour and a half ago, we are tilted as close to the sun as we will be all year. So that is why we have our summer months. That means we are getting more daylight than we will all year, and unfortunately, after today, the days get a little shorter and shorter all the way until we get to the December solstice for winter. This is actually also why our friends down under in Australia are celebrating the first day of winter today. So a little funny how that works out, but here, no winter anywhere to be found, unfortunately. It is hot and humid out there. We're looking at 91 here in downtown Columbus. Check out that sky, though. Really nice. Just a few high clouds out there. A really light wind coming out of the southeast at about 5 miles an hour, so not doing too much to keep us cool on this Saturday afternoon. Overnight tonight, I think we see more and more in the way of cloud cover build in here. Also can't completely rule out an isolated shower or two in spots. We're going to call it 70 on the nose in Columbus, 71 for the low in Tupelo and in Calhoun City. We're also looking at 70 for Starkville, 68 tonight for the low in Eupora, 68 as well in Vernon. As I mentioned, clouds increasing by midnight with the chance of an isolated shower by tomorrow morning. Speaking of tomorrow, happy Father's Day, a great day to celebrate it for the most part. It is going to be hot and humid, 91 for the high. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds. I think we see plenty of sunshine through the day, but we're going to have to watch in the afternoon hours for some of those pesky pop-up showers and thunderstorms to develop. Lots of moisture trying to sneak its way in here, and when we have a lot of moisture in the air, it's really easy for those storms to pop up across the area. So on Futurecast, I'll show you what I'm talking about. As I mentioned, waking up by 6 a.m., notice just a few very light isolated showers. So if you wake up early tomorrow and see some rain, don't be shocked. I think most of the morning hours will be dry. Notice the clouds continuing to filter on in here. Still some blue sky out there by about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. But watch what happens as we get into the afternoon hours, say 1 or 2. There's some of that moisture starting to work up some of those isolated showers and storms. So by 3 o'clock, again, not everybody going to see rain for Sunday, but there will be some storms out there. Just keep that in mind if you're going to be out and about. And unfortunately, the rain chances increase as we get into next week. Tuesday and Wednesday look to be fairly wet, but chances for showers and storms basically every day for the next 7 days. That's because this cold front sneaking through here, getting a little closer to us on Monday. But again, Tuesday and Wednesday, really the best days to see some widespread showers and storms. Here's that AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Again, Father's Day tomorrow, not a total washout, but better chances for rain are going to come in by the middle of the week. Highs in the 80s to near 90. We're back with more after this. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. A Tupelo restaurant owner says while the coronavirus shutdown hit his business really hard, he did what he had to do to take care of his employees. And WCBI's Chad Groening reports he's depending upon his faith to emerge from the crisis.
Workers at the Casa Mexican restaurant on West Main prepare to open for another day's business. And they're all very glad to have their regular dining room open after the long lockdown mandated by the governor. Fidel Cabillo owns this location and another on South Gloucester, which is also reopened. And he hopes to have a third location being built across the street from Best Buy also open soon. Originally from Chicago, Cabillo came to Tupelo in 2006.
It's a great city to raise your kids, your family. I love it where it's a big enough city where you have everything you need, and it's a small enough town where everybody knows you, and it's a great place just to bring up your kids and family.
Cabillo says COVID-19 hit pretty hard.
Especially because we're venturing off on a new adventure and opening up another business. So all of our savings were there, and all of our profit was going towards there. Then all of a sudden, we don't have savings and profit. It really hit us pretty hard. So that's when we decided just to pray and hope for the best. And God's been good to us. God's been helping us bring this business up where we need to.
And Cabillo made sure his employees got paid.
That was that. It was pretty hard because most of our employees have been with us for many years, and we've tried to survive the best we can. We went into debt to be able to keep on giving them a job and survive this situation.
One thing Cabillo did was start providing carry-out and delivery at both restaurants.
We had some material. We built a drive-through, which that helped out a lot with business, and we've been slowly but surely keep escalating.
Before the pandemic, one of the major attractions of De Casa was its all-you-can-eat buffet. But right now, as you can see, it is shuttered and will remain so for the foreseeable future because of health concerns.
As soon as the government says it's safe enough, and we say it's safe enough because it's our customers, our employees, that's our number one priority.
And Cabillo has taken a leap of faith.
We shut down Sundays because we felt that we needed more of God and His guidance, so we could go to church and pray and just leave it all to God. And we're just actually, right now, we consider God our boss.
Cabillo believes God is in control. Chad Groening, WCBI News, Tupelo.
The Tupelo restaurant owner hopes to have his third location opened in the next 2 months. Well, coronavirus and sports. We've got your weekend wrap-up for national sports and a look at how the virus is affecting attendance. All that and more after the break. Welcome back, everyone. There's a real tension at play between the desire to get back to normal and the reality that the coronavirus is not going away. Sports are a perfect example. The Belmont Stakes horse race takes place this afternoon in what one racing official calls an upside-down year.
The Belmont Stakes is known as the third leg of the Triple Crown, but with the Kentucky Derby and Preakness postponed until the fall, this year the Belmont is first out of the gate. Belmont Park, which holds 90,000 fans, will be empty.
We were committed to running the Belmont Stakes. We were committed to running the Belmont Stakes in the month of June. Incredibly unusual, but in some ways, it's fitting for 2020.
It's a very different story in Talladega, Alabama, where 5,000 spectators will be on site to watch the Geico 500 race on Sunday. It's the first time NASCAR is allowing fans back in the stands in 2 months. But Major League Baseball is dealing with a setback after the Philadelphia Phillies announced 5 players and 3 staff in its Clearwater, Florida complex have tested positive for the coronavirus. According to USA Today, the league will temporarily shut down all spring training facilities in Florida and Arizona. On Friday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis addressed the growing outbreak in his state.
You're starting to see more positives regardless of the number of tests, so that's something that we're obviously keeping an eye on.
Florida is one of a number of states that are seeing dramatic daily spikes in cases, along with Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona, and California. In an interview with CBS News Radio, Dr. Anthony Fauci said that's problematic.
Clearly, we have not succeeded in getting the public as a whole uniformly to respond in a way that is a sound scientific public health and medical situation. And it's unfortunate and it's frustrating.
But in a positive development, New York City, which had been the epicenter of the outbreak, is set to start phase 2 of its reopening on Monday, which includes outdoor dining, indoor retail, and salons.
It's clear that over the past 3 months, we have done the impossible.
In Governor Andrew Cuomo's final daily press briefing, Cuomo said New York's infection rate is below 1%. He credits New Yorkers' willingness to wear masks and the decision to wait to reopen.
Isn't that what we really showed over the past 111 days? That working together works. That the only way forward is if I protect you and you protect me.
Some isolated showers for your Father's Day. Better rain chances coming in by Tuesday and Wednesday. Not a great 7-day forecast, but just keep the umbrella handy here for the next several days.
Similar to your personality, Trevor, that forecast. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you back here later tonight.
Love it.